Okay, let's talk about what we talked about yesterday. So, working on counting these combinations of quarter notes, eighth notes. So the full eighth note count, if it was like continuous eighth notes, you have your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So when the metronome clicks, that's your downbeat. So the downbeats, you'll have the 1, 2, 3, 4. In between those beats, that's the upbeat. That's where you have the an or n or whatever. I'll say an or n or something like that. Keeping the strumming synced up with that the whole time is important. So every time it's a down beat, we have a down stroke. Every time it's an upbeat, we have an upstroke. Even if you're not hitting the strings. The idea is to really lock into that smooth motion. Now, I mentioned yesterday, if you get any of these up to 240 or beyond, let me know. If you can send a video demonstrating you can do it at 240 or beyond, that would be the best thing to do. That'd be the best thing to do. Reason being, we want to make sure that it is absolutely being played 100% correct at those speeds before we move into the next thing, okay? And I say that because I've had a lot of people think that they're playing a really fast speed when they demonstrate it. They're not really playing it that way. So we just want to play it safe, make sure it's all done correctly. A big thing I talk about is practice makes perfect is a load of baloney. Only perfect practice makes perfect. So basically, if you can play like, the 10,000 hour rule to like master something. However, if you spend those 10,000 hours filled with mistakes playing things wrong, all you did is get really good at playing things wrong. So obviously mistakes are going to happen, that's part of the process. But we have to address the mistakes when they happen. So when you're running through any of this stuff, if you notice, let's say, like this is the difficult part for most people on this rhythm combination. Let's say you notice a mistake keeps happening here, okay? And let's say that maybe you're transferring to this chord at the wrong moment. Instead of finishing this whole thing and before starting over, stop where you're at and start again. So I find that if you address the mistake immediately, you're telling your brain that it's not okay to do that mistake, and we want to fix it. Now let's say you start over 3 times and you keep making the same mistake in the same place. Instead of starting over from the beginning again, focus on that area. Maybe just work on those 2 bars. We'll finish to the end there. So maybe work on that section until that feels comfortable before going on to the beginning again. So anytime you come across a section that proves extra difficult, focus your attention on that. You don't have to work that part up unless you're really having a hard time with it, but just try playing it a few times correctly, get comfortable with it, and then back to the beginning and start try and piece it all together again. So even this practice approach is going to take some learning. So anytime you have questions with what to do, what I'm talking about, please let me know. And from 60 to 120, say what you play. It builds fantastic rhythm skills. It's a great habit to have. You can keep counting past 120. It does get a bit difficult counting that fast. So I'm going to demonstrate these at 4 different speeds so you can hear and see exactly what you want to do. And here we go. 60 beats per minute, number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and done. Number 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 60. Lots of upstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4. 1, 2 and 2. 3 and 3, 4 and done. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And number 3. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 4, 1, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 80. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, no matter how fast you get, always start at 60 every single practice session. Always go up no more than 5 beats per minute every time you play it correctly. So, the idea is you only go up to the faster speed if what you played, if you feel it was good enough to be on a recording. So that's the level of perfection we're going for. If you feel like it wasn't good enough to be on a recording, you need to do it again. So this ties into the whole only perfect practice makes perfect, right? So if it was good enough to be on a recording, bump it up. If you felt like you made a mistake or it wasn't quite good enough to be on a recording, do it again. So yeah, always start at 60, get as fast as you can. In about 10 to 15 minutes is about what you'll need, and 5 beat per minute increments. And if any questions come up, please let me know. I'll see you again next week.